moment. All
Hello,
right.
everybody, and welcome to DRL TV. I am your host, James Pandoff. With me, as always, is Taylor Butcher Benjamin. How are you doing tonight, Taylor?
I'm doing good, James. This is going to be an exciting race, like always, but especially since this is the last opportunity for guys to make their way into Homestead, whether by points or by a win. And a little wrinkle was thrown in unintentionally, but this was supposed to actually be a night race, but the session was set up, and it's right now 3:40 sim time PM, and the track is in the triple digits. So definitely threw these guys a bit of a curveball, but hopefully these guys can deal. Well, I wouldn't say deal with it, but hopefully these guys can take it all in and do the best they can with the conditions that they were dealt with, and hopefully we can have a good race. And I'm certainly curious as to who's going to be in the Final Four next week and who's going to be left out.
Absolutely, these guys are going to have their hands full with this hot track temp, but 110 laps is the distance tonight as we are currently underway with qualifying. You see Jay Rogers taking his time around the track, looking at his lap time. He's currently sixth best. If we can find someone else on track, you see Cody Barber. He's going to wait till the end to cross the line. Jeffrey Myers rolling out for his qualifying attempt. The sure-on favorite to win the championship in the Truck Series. Let's see what he can do tonight at Phoenix.
Now I will say this, that the pole time was by Adam Purcell in the springtime. It was about 27.4. So some of these guys are still eclipsing that mark.
Yeah, right now Corey Sherman with the 26.9. He broke the 26s. That's currently the pole time. The clouds have come out, and Jeffrey Myers is going to take advantage of that. The track can cool off enough for his qualifying attempt.
Yeah, well, speaking to some of these guys that are in this race, once those clouds goes away, I mean, it's going to be really tight. They have a really hard time getting down into turn one without the front end just sliding up towards the wall. So these guys are really going to have to pay attention to the track conditions and compensate for them.
27.148 for Jeffrey Myers. He's going to start his second lap. He looked like he got a little loose in 3. I don't think he's going to be able to pull off a pole time. Taking a look at the point standings going into tonight, Jeffrey Meyer, you see there in yellow, he is locked into the next round, so he will be one of the 4 drivers competing for the championship next week. You see above the cutoff line, you have Richard Springer and Daniel Holloway, both 10 points above that cutoff line, and then you have Adam Faria of the 29, he's 9 points above the cutoff line. The 4 drivers that have to make something happen tonight to get in would be Dakota Wilkins, Jarrett Rogers, Adam Purcell, and Austin Collins. If one of those 4 drivers can win, they will automatically lock themselves into Homestead. All 4 drivers outside the cutoff line have attended all 3 races in the round, so it will be a win and in benefit if they can do so tonight.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on Adam Purcell. He's about 5th on the board right now. If you can recall, he actually ran really well from the pole in the spring race here until a pit road situation, I think, and then getting caught up in somebody else's mess. And when I was speaking to him directly, that was the very first time he had ever driven a truck on iRacing, because he had still had his D license back then, and he had just joined the service actually not that long ago. So now that he's got some more experience under his belt, although he was very vocal as of the conditions here tonight, he was definitely anticipating a night race, but I'm curious to see what he can do. But let's grab Adam Faria for a quick interview as I give these guys their last minute instructions. All right, great lap there, Adam. I'm going to check real quick.
I can pull him in real quick. Hey Adam Free. This is the broadcast booth. You have a copy?
Copy.
Well, sir, start on the pole tonight. It's exactly where you want to be going into tonight. You are above the cutoff line. 110 laps here. The track is a little hotter than most expected. What are you going to have to do to keep the 4 tires on the track and possibly bring it to victory lane?
My goal tonight is just back it off, getting into the corners early, and try to stay clean. I think there might be a lot of spins here off turn 1 and 3, so just try not to get caught up in any of that. No major mistakes. I should be fine.
Yeah, we saw in the Grand National Series race there were a lot of solo spins coming off of 2 and 4. Looking through practice, did you see a lot of drivers doing that as well?
Yeah, but everyone's pushing for hot laps, so it's hard to get a good measure off practice.
Alrighty, man. Well, 110 laps tonight. We're about to get rolling off the grid, so we're going to let you get focused, and hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of this one. Good luck.
Thanks, JP.
And Adam, if you can remind me, what channel were you in in the Discord?
Oh, sorry. I just put him back down.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. And
Yep.
as the field is rolling off, let's take a look at the starting order. Adam Free first. Corey Sherman, who's looking for his first truck win, will start second. Richard Springer third. Tannerson A fourth. Fifth goes Adam Purcell. Jeffrey Meyer starting in the 6th position. 7th goes to Dakota Wilkins, and 8th Daniel Holloway. Rounding out the top 10 belongs to Adam Breeden in the 01. He's been having solid runs as of late, and Jordan Berry in the 57. As the pace car's about to dug off, we'll let the grid cycle through, and Adam Free will bring him to the green.
Yeah. He gets a good start.
Yeah, great start there by the 29. And it looks like Jeffrey Myers come down to pit. I'm not sure if that was scheduled. I highly doubt it would be. I thought he set a qualifying time, so I'm surprised he's down there.
Yeah, I believe he actually started from pit road for whatever reason. But tonight, I mean, it doesn't matter what he does tonight. He's locked into the chase no matter what.
Absolutely. As we're completing the first lap, Grand National Series didn't get the first lap in under green, so these guys are off to a better start. But
Adam Free got himself a bonus point for leading the first lap. That's pretty big considering where he is in points. Right there, he's above the cutoff line, but still can't afford a bad night.
Purcell and Sunay battling it out for 4th. Right behind them, Daniel Holloway and Dakota Wilkins. These guys are going to have to be careful about getting their left sides below that yellow line in 3 and 4. We saw a lot of trouble happening last night in the Grand National Series race when a driver would dip below that yellow line coming off of turn 4.
Hey, right? So we have a battle for the lead between Sherman and Free. It's one thing I've noticed about going down there. I mean, it's tough to do it when you're battling another truck, like he's mentioned. Like when you're by yourself and when you're out into a long run, if you can get the left sides down there. We got a crash off turn 4. See Cody Gatsky with damage. I believe he was the only one involved.
Let's see if we can see what happened with the 27 of Cody Gatsky.
I think he was just... Jared Rogers is underneath him and just swaps end on him. Matt Vanderkoy missed him by the skin of his teeth. Very close.
Oh, yeah, he was in the middle of 3 and 4 and he just lost it. Luckily, he was able to keep it higher in the track and everybody was able to go low and avoid him. It doesn't look like a whole lot of damage if we can get a closer look at that 27. He does have a crinkled right front, but I don't think he hit it completely head on. He might be okay.
Yeah, both that and the right rear is really the only concern.
Slick conditions. We're only 5 laps in. We'll see if anybody decides to take tires. If I were them, I probably would. We saw in the Cup and Grand National Series races that older tires are not your friend here at Phoenix.
And more people than I anticipated coming down pit road.
Yeah, led by Richard Springer, leading them all in.
So basically, top Only 3 trucks stayed out. Our leader, Faree, Sherman, and Terrence Dene. So pretty much everyone fourth on back.
One notable is that Marvin Wingfield did not start tonight's race. He's shown disconnected in 18th.
Yeah, he had joined the session, but for whatever reason is not taking the green flag.
Race off pit road, looks like Adam Purcell will win it in that 58, followed by Daniel Holloway, Richard Springer, Dakota Watkins, and
Just
the
right side
57
tires.
of Jordan Berry.
Right side tires on the 58.
Definitely worth a gamble, only 5 laps on the tires, so right sides could pay off, as you have Cody Gasky only 18 seconds in the pit, so it looks like he didn't have that much damage. Well, Taylor, looking at the point standings and the 4 drivers that are outside the top 4 and seeing what you saw in practice, who do you think has the best chance to make it inside the top 4 and maybe even get a win?
Well, I mean, I see Purcell up there. If he can duplicate what he did in the spring, other than just the self-inflicted mistakes, I mean, he's got a real chance of stealing the spot here.
Yeah, he is 13 points out from the top 4, so I think he will definitely need a win in order to secure himself a position. Only 18 cars started tonight. He will need someone inside the top 4, excuse me, to finish below 15th and him finish inside the top 5.
And even that might be a bit of a stretch. But yeah, he's definitely in a tight spot. But as we've seen through this playoffs and all 3 series, anything is possible. Because the pace car has its lights off and they're doubling up to go back green. Yeah, Jeffrey Meyer continues to go down pit road. Pretty much just wants to stay out of the way tonight. Not affect anybody's chase hopes. He's the only one in this field that has that luxury. I think he's actually just now leaving pit road. I think he just wants to be as far away from everybody as he possibly can be.
Pace car getting ready to dock off there. Will be Adam Faree leading them once again to the green flag, and there he goes. A nice restart there by the 29. He's got to be careful he doesn't jump it. I don't think the pace car had crossed that pit entry line.
Yeah, that looked pretty close, and we saw last night Gary Cronenwet get a black flag. Went back and looked at it. It looked close, but
coming off of turn 4, Daniel Holloway to the inside of Adam Purcell. That'll be for the 4th position. Looks like he had to check up there, and Richard Springer got to his outside.
I'll see if anybody... Oh, go ahead, James.
I was going to say, cutting that apron is a huge advantage. It is legal to do here. You can go all the way to that inside wall, and you saw Daniel Holloway use that to his advantage right there to get around.
I mean, we see in the real life races that sometimes... Oh, we got another spin. Jordan Berry. No caution, as he got pointed back the right direction.
See if we can see that one more time.
In the middle of 1 and 2.
Looks like he had a little
got some
help.
contact.
Was able to keep it going.
That was Adam Breeden in the 0-1 truck.
Little damage for him, but nothing too significant. As you go back up to the battle for the lead.
Although I did see the left front kind of jump up into the air, but the damage looks pretty minor on the 57 truck. But getting back to that dog leg, we've seen in real life, we've seen like 5 and 6 wide down there. Guys really take advantage of that open part of the track.
Yeah, the only danger is you don't know if the guy to your outside is still there, or if he goes all the way up to the wall when you're coming back onto the banking. You might end up running into the guy and causing a wreck. We saw that happen a couple times in both the Cup and Grand National race. As that battle for the lead is heating up, it's a 3-truck battle. The 6 of Corey Sherman trying to look to the inside of Adam Ferree, and Terrence Sinay right behind both of them. Both Corey Sherman and Terrence Sinay are looking for their first win in Dynasty Racing League. Could tonight be the night?
And Terrence Sinay is in a interesting position tonight, knowing that he wants to get up there and get that first win, but knowing his teammate is 29 of Ferree, and he doesn't want to do anything to mess him up as far as his Final Four chances. See just how far they dive down there. Not all the way to the inside wall, but that's still pretty far. And like you said, James, there's nothing illegal about going down there, but it's still your responsibility to rejoin safely. Curious as the run goes along here, if some guys are battling a tight condition. We were talking about that apron in the center of these corners. You can actually go below it with your left side, and that'll actually help the truck rotate. I know for me the other day it helped the car rotate.
On board with Terrence Sinay, he's currently in 3rd place.
I can see just how violent it is when you go down onto that banking. It feels like the whole car or truck is going to just... It seemed like there should be a lot more damage done to the vehicle when you go down there, but...
You're going to get a better view of it in the gyro camera.
See right there, it just collapses down on that right front.
And then you go back up and it just violently shakes. Luckily for us in a sim, we don't have that luxury of feeling all those bumps, whereas those drivers in the real life do.
Looks like Sherman might have a run on the 29.
It looks 29 close to the door, as we have a battle right behind them with Daniel Holloway in the 26 and Dakota Waltons in the 44.
Yeah, Dakota's got to make something happen, as he's entered 5th in points. So he's got to run up towards the front and hope some guys that are in the current above the cut line, that he's got to hope for them to have some bad luck. Of course, no driver wants to be in that position to rely on bad luck for other guys, but that's the hand he's dealt with mainly after Martinsville, because he had a top 3 run last week at Texas, but that wreck at Martinsville really put him in a tough position. Field's starting to string out a little bit, back behind the top 5.
Well, I know it's pretty early, but these guys are doing a fantastic job with the hotter, slicker conditions. 20 laps complete, 90 to go.
On truck that's on the move is Jared Rogers, started back in 14th and all the way up in the 6th spot after 21 laps.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Jared Rogers, a driver that had a great rookie season, picking up a win. He could have had a couple more, but a couple of bad luck incidences ruined that opportunity. But he brought himself into the playoffs, and he's 10 points out from making it to the top 4. If he could pick up a win or a very good finish, he might be able to move himself into that championship 4.
Yeah, I was actually just getting ready to say that about how many close calls he had throughout the year, particularly Kentucky, when he was leading on the white flag, and then he and Adam Ferree got together. But how amazing was it to see him in virtually a must-win situation at that point in time get it done at Talladega?
And battle for the lead once again. You saw Corey Sherman to the inside. The 29 had the better run, and here comes Terrence Sinay trying to battle the 6, but not so fast. Dakota Wilkins to the outside.
Oh,
they almost
touched right
touched.
there.
Did they touch? I thought it was close. But that's going to back off Dakota Wilkins, and he's going to have to run at him again.
Well, if they did touch, it was very slight, because I don't see any damage on either truck. And Daniel Holloway, who's currently on the plus side of things for the playoffs, has a bird's eye view of all this, saying, guys, please keep it straight. And and he's saying, guys, if you don't keep it straight, don't spin into my path.
And you can see the sun has gone away for the meantime. These trucks are going to handle a lot different in a couple laps.
And believe me, these guys, they want that sun behind these clouds. You were just saying the front end turns so much better than it does when the sun is actually out beaming on the racetrack.
Well, Taylor, I can tell you this. I'm very impressed with how these guys have cleaned up the series and have been racing fantastic ever since the playoffs started. These guys have really turned it around from the beginning of the season, and I can't wait to see what next season brings for these drivers.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, we saw the first half of the season, some guys, they hadn't been used to racing each other a lot. They saw a lot of miscommunications and a lot of silly wrecks that maybe didn't need to happen. But yeah, these guys have definitely gotten it together, especially at Martinsville. We only had 4 cautions in the chase race a couple weeks ago at Martinsville, and that'll pretty much will show you what these guys have been able to do.
I see a group of cars in the back forming up. We got the 99 of Austin Collins, 21 of Richard Springer, 58 of Adam Purcell. Right in front of them is the 9 of Jarrett Rogers and Daniel Holloway. And this is for about 5th through 9th, these drivers.
Yeah, top 4 are broken away from the rest of this group. I think the 9 of Rogers, well, he's a little bit quicker. I think Holloway is still holding this group up a little bit.
Going back to Dakota Wilkins, he's all over Terrence Sinay. He's going to try to get to the inside of him. Down into 3, Sinay goes high. That might open the door for the 44 of Dakota.
Yeah, you see, he just gets such a run off turn 4. Of course, in real life now, that's turn 2 with the way this the track is. They haven't quite. iRacing hasn't gotten the new configuration on iRacing yet, and probably won't for another couple of years.
Yeah, personally, I'm kind of glad they don't. I can only imagine how these restarts would go with the drivers being able to duck down onto the apron like they do.
I mean, if you think they're crazy now, I mean, just think of what it'll be. We got 3 wide in the back. That sorts out into the corner as Purcell gets around his teammate Springer.
Oh, not for long though. Richard Springer with a nice crossover on Adam Purcell.
Yes, you saw Purcell enter that corner extremely low, and it just didn't give him the right angle to carry the speed through the center off. But he's hanging tough on that outside. Now this is distance tonight is 110 laps, so these guys probably would have to pit under green if we stay green the rest of the way. I mean,
the 9 of Jerry Rogers passing the 26th of Daniel Holloway. Trying to, I should say. The 26 had a nice run into 3. But you are correct, Taylor. This should be a one-stop race under green, if I'm not mistaken. If they can pit around lap 60, they should be all set to the end.
Yeah, we saw it at Martinsville, which you never expect green flag pit stops to happen there. We almost got it at Martinsville until a caution on lap 70 or so changed that. But man, this battle between Rogers and Springer and Purcell is heating up, and so is this track. As you see, the sun has come back out. It's still at 90 degrees right now, but definitely throw a wrench into some plans of how you drive this track when the sun is out like it is right now.
Yeah, we got a hot track. I'm sure we're going to have hot tempers after this one. So much on the line between these drivers. But everybody doing a great job keeping it clean so far. Going to be completing lap 35 of 110. And this battle is insane with Richard Springer. Going to try to cross over to the inside on the 9. It looks like he got his nose there. Will he be able to make a stick?
I still think these guys right now, they're about to be 3 wide through here. If they can ever clear Holloway, which Holloway's not giving up, but if they can ever clear him, I think they might be able to drive away from him.
It looks like Springer will be able to do just that. Nose to nose at the line. Holloway does have that advantage. We'll see what happens into 1.
That gives you such momentum off turn 4 because how the angle of the wheel, how you turn the wheel, just really wants to snap loose off that corner if you have it turn too much to the
Ooh, almost
the
making
left.
contact there, Richard Springer. Trying to push Daniel Holloway up the track a little bit to give him that advantage coming off of 4.
Oh man, he eased it into turn 1 right there, and that's going to help him get off turn 2. He should be able to clear. Man, he's got him clear right now. Now let's see how quickly 21 might be able to drive away as they go by the lap truck of Cody Gadsky, wounded from that earlier incident off of 4.
Yeah, Cody doing a great job letting all 5 of these drivers by.
Still no change up front between the top 4. Still about 3/10 back. Faree has on Sherman, and about half a second difference between Wilkins and Sine. But behind them, it's an absolute hornet's nest.
Yep, and now it's Jerry Rogers' turn to try to make something happen on Daniel Holloway, using the 3rd line up in turn 3 to try to get that run off in turn 4. Looks like he's going to have something going into turn 1.
Yeah, he should have it done. Yeah, that 26 is definitely...
Oh, not so fast. Adam Purcell and Austin Collins to the inside. I'm not sure if Daniel Holloway's just letting him go or if something might have happened to him.
I think he's just not as quick as these guys. Plus the fact, he's probably smart enough to realize if he's not as quick as some of these guys, to just let him go for now, because he knows that some of these guys behind him in points have to beat him. They don't have to beat him by just 1 or 2 spots. They got to beat him by like 9 or 10. So if he hangs just, around the outside of the back half of the top 10, then he should be okay.
One thing I would like to point out is the drivers that stayed out on that first caution, they have 5 lap older tires than the rest of them. Adam Free, Corey Sherman are 1 and 2 on those older tires, and then you got Terrence Sine, who's in 4th.
Caution is out.
And that's Daniel Holloway.
Austin Collins and Daniel Holloway.
While I was just talking about that, we're going to take a look at it going into turn 1.
Oh, it
looks like the 99 bobbled and made contact.
Well, I see the 90. Yeah, well, it looked like the 90. Yeah, the 99 bobbled. It looked like Holloway turned in a little bit, but that was after the 99 kind of wiggled.
Yeah, it looked like the 99 was going into the corner, and then he just kept going straight. Let's see if we can take one more look at that.
That was a bizarre situation. Let's see. You see Austin driving in really hard. Holloway turns into the corner. I think I might have to put that on the 26, actually.
It's tough to call, but I do see the 99 just dart straight. I'm not sure what that was about exactly, but that's up to race control. I'm just the broadcaster.
Well, fortunately, I'm in a tough spot right now, given my having to race control these guys as I'm doing this. So, might be a little bit. Man, that's tough to tell. I think these guys might have some damage to repair anyway, so they might be at, no matter who gets the EOL, they might be in the back regardless.
Nice piss out there by Jarrett Rogers. He might be able to pick up a position or two, as well as Dakota Wilkins. Looks like he's going to come out second, beating Corey Sherman.
Yep, Faree looks like he maintained the lead. Alright, this is kind of a tough one to call. So after review, what I see is the 99 bobbled just a little bit as he drove it hard into turn 1. Oops, hold on a second. Keep forgetting to mute my mic while I'm talking to these guys.
That's alright, you gotta let the viewers know what's going on. And we have Cody Gasky and Jeffrey Meyer still in pit lane. It should be a 1 to go signal this time by. Maybe next caution we'll be able to interview someone. I think it's a little late now. But we have Adam Free, Dakota Wilkins, Corey Sherman, Jarrett Rogers, and Richard Springer currently the top 5. Looks like the leader will elect the inside line on this restart.
Alright, looks like they're on 1 to go. So I was about to try to pull someone in here, but these caution laps are a little quicker than I anticipated. Cody Gatsky got the lucky dog under that yellow, as he was the only car 1 lap down. And take this restart with, let's see, about trying to do some math here, about 64 to go.
And pitch goes off. Adam Free with a nice start. He's been having great restarts all night long.
Ooh, that was kind of marginal right there.
Yeah, it looked like he might have changed lanes. I'm not sure if that's something that race control might give a warning out, or if he's going to lay the penalty thick early, but that was definitely borderline. Corey Sherman, Dakota Wilkins battling it out for second. Looks like Sherman will possess second for the meantime, but it's Dakota Wilkins to the inside. Corey Sherman rides up the track. That's going to open the door for Dakota Wilkins to possibly take caution is out. Who do we have? Cody Barber's slow. Let's see if we can see. Oh, it happened in front of them with the 72. Matt Vandercourt. Let's see if we can see that one more time. Oh, looks like Jordan Berry got into him, tapped his left rear. 28 just picked the wrong side. He went high, should have gone low.
Yeah, Jordan Berry's already on the radio, taking responsibility for it. Yeah, it was a tough spot for Barber to be. I think he suffered a little bit of damage, but I think he can buff that out.
Yeah, and the good news is the 72 didn't suffer much damage. As we take a look at this one more time, Matt was able to lock down the brakes pretty well. Didn't back himself up into that outside wall. He should be okay.
Yeah, I got a couple of guys in the back of the field making their way to pit road, as it was only 2 laps. All right, a couple things. There were a couple of different things going on at one time. So, all right, as far as the caution, it's going to go to the 57. You see him overdrive a little bit too hard in the
That
72.
is correct. Not many takers on pit lane. Dustin Iger was the first one in. Daniel Holloway is in pit lane for extensive amount of time, 33 seconds and counting. If he's not careful, he might go a lap down here. You also see Jeffrey Meyer's been on pit lane, but I don't think he has much damage, if any. He's actually just hanging out in pit lane. Going to be 1 to go. We are 50 laps complete here at Phoenix of 110. About to reach the halfway point. Third caution of the night. Adam Free has been all but dominant, leading almost every single lap. Corey Sherman's been right there behind him in second. And now you got Dakota Wilkins in third. Wilkins started in the 7th position. If Wilkins...
I'm sorry, you guys. I keep having to forget to turn my mic off while I'm announcing stuff to the drivers in the sim.
That's quite alright. If Dakota Wilkins can get a lap led, that's a bonus point that might be able to help him out. As you remember in the point standings, he's 5th, 9 points outside the top 4. If he can either finish very well and have one of the top 4 drivers have a trouble race, he'll make himself in. If he can win tonight, he's definitely in. So a lot can happen just over halfway of this race.
Yeah, actually, not quite halfway, about 3 laps until we get to halfway, but regardless, yeah, still a long way to go. And a lot to unfold here. See what Adam Free does. A warning was given to him about changing lanes.
And there he goes. Another fantastic restart by him.
Yep, that's good to go. I think he understood the message, but see what Corey Sherman maybe can do to run him down. Free, I believe at this point, just led every lap, if I'm not mistaken.
Down through 3 and 4 they go. Jay Rogers going to try the outside of Richard Springer and try to take that 4th position away. And at the same time, Richard Springer trying the inside of Dakota Wilkins. Battle for third's heating up, but take a look at Corey Sherman as he tries to chase down the 29. He's been doing that all night long.
Oh, we got more contact over in 3 and 4 at the back of the field. David Lindahl was crossed up. But he kept it straight and will stay green for the moment.
A lot of damage to his front. You see his left and right front all chewed up.
Yeah, just got in there and just kind of drifted through the corner. Maybe a little too much rear bias. Coming off a heartbreaker at Texas. I still feel bad because we had just interviewed him when he was running upside in the top 3 and then got caught up in a wreck off turn 2. But he's certainly made a lot of strides this season, as has a lot of the other guys in there. What I was about to say before that happened, looks like Austin Collins is back up into the 9th position, but Daniel Holloway, he's right now stuck in 13th. I believe he suffered a little more damage than the 99 did. See the left rear with some damage there, as well as the left front.
And the 6 is still chasing down the 29. Looking at the last lap times, Corey Sherman was faster, but not by much. Maybe a half, a tenth. Not a whole lot you can do. You gotta.
He just needs to get close enough and be able to use all the racetrack to complete this pass. Especially if you're going to do it.
Inside about a meter. Sorry, Taylor, for interrupting you.
Oh, that's all right. A lot of action going on. But if Sherman is going to complete this pass, might have to do it through the dogleg entering 3, because it's really tough to. Because we've talked about the momentum you get off turn 4, and if you are going to make it through turn 4, you're going to have to be completely clear, because that guy's going to have a run on you coming off the top of the racetrack off that corner. And to make the pass, you need all the racetrack to be able to slide up in front of him. What we were talking about before with Holloway just needing a solid top 10 run. Well, right now he's got a couple of trucks in front of him that he can pass, but he's got to be careful and not lose too many positions. He does have his teammate Meyer behind him. I'm sure he's not going to pass him, but he can't fall too far behind, because right now, as it stands, I believe, as he comes to the outside of Jordan Berry. So Wilkins entered this race 5th in points, 10 off the cutoff line. And Holloway, I believe he entered 4th, didn't he? I believe Holloway entered 4th. So he's only got, at the moment, 1 point on Dakota Wilkins. And of course, the tiebreaker effect might come into play as well. And of course, that tiebreaker goes to the best finish in this round, if there is a tie between 4th and 5th. And I believe Dakota Wilkins has the tiebreaker over Holloway. I know because Wilkins finished in 3rd at Texas. Double check that real quick to make sure Holloway's best finish.
A lot of action going on in the back with Daniel Holloway, his teammate Jeffrey Meyer, and David Lindahl, who was involved in that wreck earlier. This is all for 11th on back. But the story's been up front with the 6 who actually got loose entering 3, so he's falling back a little bit, and that's opened the door for Richard Springer. Cody Gasky's on pit lane.
So actually, we get an interesting situation here, because they actually both, talk about Holloway and Wilkins, they actually both have a 3rd place finish in this round. So if I'm not mistaken, James, you can confirm this if I'm incorrect about it. It would go to the 2nd best finish in this round. Is that correct?
I will have to double check, but I believe that would be the case.
And if that's the case, then Holloway would get the nod, because his 2 finishes are 3rd and 5th, and Wilkins' 2 finishes are 3rd and 15th. Unless Wilkins gets up there and finishes 2nd and or wins. So, really interesting situation back here with these guys. But right now, as Wilkins sits in 4th, Holloway 12th, that would be separated by 2 points.
Alright, to answer your question, Taylor, per the rule book, if there is a tie between playoff drivers in the round, the tiebreaker will go to the better finish in that particular round. If both drivers have the same finish, it will go to the driver with the most top fives of that current round.
Okay.
And if they both have the same number of top fives, it would then go to the driver with the most top fives in the playoffs total.
That's if it comes down to that, man, we got. I mean, it very well could though. That's just how tight things are.
This battle for second still heated up between the 21 and the 6 as Richard Springer looks for a crossover down into 3.
Well, he is hungry to get that second spot because he has Wilkins all over his rear tailgate.
Back a little farther, you see Adam Beaton make a pass on the 7 of Dustin Eichern.
See the differences in the two lines between Sherman and Springer. See Sherman go down about a half lane off the bottom while Richard Springer, well, we know Richard Springer likes the top side any track. And if he can get close enough in 3 and 4, that top side could carry him past the 6 truck. And while all this is going on, Adam Faree maintains a 1 second lead, and here comes
Adam Purcell.
Here comes Adam Purcell past Dakota Wilkins. That's good for Holloway since he's still stuck back there. He needs some guys to pass Wilkins and make it difficult for him to gain any positions.
If I'm not mistaken, these guys might be close on fuel. They're currently 30 laps on their tires, and there's just under 40 laps to go, so it's going to be close for them to make it.
Well, the guys that, the guys that did pit under the last caution, because of course that was a very short run, only about 3 or 4 laps. We went back green, lap 52. I think the guys that pitted should be fine, because in the Cup car, a lot of people pitted in the Cup car for, as far as tires. And the race distance was 156 laps, so a lot of guys just split it up into thirds. And I think when I made my stop under green the first time, I think I had about 15 or so laps of fuel remaining. So it'll be close either way, but I think they should be alright for the most part.
Adam Free with about a 1.25 seconds lead over the second
Here
place
comes
driver,
Purcell.
Richard Springer. But the man on the move is Adam Purcell.
We told you how good he ran in the. Yeah, it was close. We told you how well he ran here in the springtime. Won the pole, led a good chunk of laps. And to reiterate this, and I know Adam will appreciate it, that was his first ever time in a truck, because back then he still had his D license. Although that move under the 6 truck didn't really work, and he's under pressure from Wilkins. See Jarrett Rogers in 7th place. He must have gotten up into the wall. See the damage he has on that right side.
Taking a little better look at that. You can see just what he's talking about right there. A little bit of damage and a big hit in the center of his bumper.
I see the front end of the 30 of Sine, a little bit of scrape marks.
Maybe they had a run-in. Battle again for second. Corey Sherman, Richard Springer going at it.
Oh, Sherman pokes the nose, but Springer gets that momentum. I can confirm I went back. Oh, we got a caution. Daniel Holloway. Severe smoke rolling out the back of that truck.
Let's see if we can see what happened. His teammate Jeffrey Meyer
Oh
was
my
behind
goodness.
him.
Jeffrey Meyer, his teammate, he blinked out. And when he reappeared, the 26 is getting turned around. Wow.
On board with Daniel Holloway.
Can you believe
yeah,
that?
Wow. Can't
Wow,
believe
if
that
that's how Daniel Holloway misses this playoffs.
And you see
Boy,
smoke out of his machine, so his night is done.
Yeah, he's in serious trouble.
Gonna see that one more time.
His playoff hopes aren't officially over because these guys still have to finish high enough.
Right
and
there,
enough
50
positions
blinks
in front
out,
of him.
and next thing you know, he's sideways and into the wall. What I'm surprised about is how his engine blew up because he didn't go head first.
Yeah, I know, it's weird. I wonder, I haven't really been listening to the onboards of these guys, if they've been shifting or not, but I wonder if he knocked it down a gear trying to save it.
That is very possible.
That's very bizarre, regardless of how it happened. But man, you got Jeffrey Meyer right now has probably got to be the sickest man in iRacing right now.
Well, I would say let's pull someone in, but with the amount of laps left, I think it's best to just let these guys focus on themselves and watch the end of this one.
Yep, as Ferrari in first, out first again, as he has all night long.
He's been having some great pit stops. His whole night is going to plan. Less than 30 laps to go, and he might be able to pick up his 4th win on the year and lock himself into Homestead. So taking a look at the point standings with Daniel Holloway, he was 10 points above the cutoff line. His night is more than likely over with that smoke coming out of his car. So that leaves, if Dakota Wilkins can finish 11 spots ahead of him, he will knock Daniel Holloway out. Which is possible. Holloway is currently 15th, so Dakota Wilkins would need a top 4 finish in order to do so. Of course, if Wilkins were to win, that would not matter because a win and in would be instituted. Definitely got a feel for the 50. His teammate Jeffrey Meyer, of course, did not mean to do that. That was completely out of his control. That was a connection issue with iRacing to blink out like that and then to randomly appear inside his vehicle and to take him out of the race. It's very unfortunate. We should be getting the 1 to go signal here. The pace lights are out. Adam Free electing the inside line. Richard Springer to start on his outside. Row 2 makes up of Dakota Wilkins and Tanner Sine back inside the top 5. And then Adam Purcell makes out 5th place with Corey Sherman alongside him. Purcell with a little bit of damage to his right rear. Shouldn't affect him too badly though.
So what will happen on this restart? As Adam Ferrari has gotten some very solid ones. Pace car is in. And we're back underway with about 25 laps to go.
Another great restart there for the 29. Wilkins and Richard Springer battle it out for second.
Now for Wilkins, he knows what just happened with the 26, and he's got to be in, I wouldn't say full send mode, but he's got to go. Because right now, if Holloway can't continue, right now Lindahl and Gatsky are out of the race, so they won't pass him. But right now, Holloway is scored in 15th position.
If Dakota can finish 4th or better, he will bump out Holloway and he will be into the playoffs.
Yeah, so I mean, imagine what Dakota Wilkins, the emotions he's got to be going through right now. Saying
3 wide behind him, Gary Rogers, Dustin Rankin both get loose. That could have ended badly, but both of them going straight. I don't believe...
contact with Purcell. Got sent up the racetrack, and you see some right front damage.
I don't believe Holloway led a lap, so that is not a bonus point he will have if Dakota...
Oh, gosh.
Oh, there goes
Still just got into the 72, and caution is out as Vanderkooi turns it around.
And the 28 almost ends up into the 72 again. But luckily, they were both able to get on the brakes quick enough. Let's see if we can see that one more time.
Yeah, I was watching that as it happened. Looked like... Well, you could tell the 58 was getting frustrated.
Yeah, just getting moved out of the way like that in turn 1. He wanted to get positions back quickly.
I mean, plus the fact he knows has to go now, and I don't know if he was meaning to make it 3 wide, but whatever the case, he definitely got in the back of the 72 and turned him around.
Yeah, it looked like he tried to get under it, maybe to follow the 50 through, and just ended up tapping the 72. But again, the 72 did not hit anything, so other than a little right rear contact, his car looks okay. His truck, I should say.
Now, the 58, he definitely needs some repair work done, because before that happened, he was getting used up.
It's going to be less than 20 to go on the restart.
Yeah, Holloway right now needs some attrition. Because, I mean, right now he's sitting there helplessly, as I'm sure he's still serving his meatball. Actually, as soon as I say that, there he goes. So he's back on the track, going to be 7 laps down. He needs some other guys to fall out of this race. We talk about topsy-turvy as far as the playoff situation, but I mean, did we expect anything less? Because I certainly didn't.
Pace car should have the lights out this time by. We'll go racing once again. It certainly is not over, that's for sure. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. The pace lights are still on. It's the 2 to go signal. Purcell back in pit lane, finishing up any damage he might have. The real question is, does anybody have anything for Adam Free? He's been so dominant tonight. With what's going to be 19 laps to go on the restart. Springer to the outside. Wilkins in third. Corey Sherman in fourth. And green flag is back out. Another fantastic restart for the 29. Nobody's been able to match him all night long. Mr. Springer's clear in second. Wilkins in third. And a caution out once again for something in the back.
Yeah, there was a wild sequence of events while I'm trying to explain some stuff to some guys.
You see the 01 is on the restart. Looks like 99 got into the 01. And then the 50
Looks like the
ended up-
01, somebody ahead of him was blinking out. But after the caution,
Yeah, more chaos after the caution with the 72. Yeah, it looks like the 99 just gets into the 01. I'm actually not sure if that's what caused the caution. I think the caution was the 01 and the 72. I could be mistaken.
I had actually, while I was in the middle of all this stuff, I had seen the caution flag come back out, and then the deal happened with Vanderkooi and Breed.
Alright, that makes sense.
Jeez, you guys are going to give me gray hairs after this race. Because I looked back, actually, and actually Adam Purcell brought this to my attention. There was actually, if you look close enough on the 72 truck, this is the caution before this one, that there was actually no contact between those guys, and the 72 ended up going around by himself. I mean, really tough to tell.
Leaders decided to stay out on 13 lap old tires while 10th on back is pitting. This will be really wild if it ends up being a green-white checkered. So the top 5 at the moment: Adam Fury, Richard Springer, Dakota Wilkins, Corey Sherman, and Terrence Renee round out that top 5. And then you have Jordan Berry. We haven't really said much about him. He's currently in the 6th position, started in 10th. Highest is 6th, so he's in the highest position he's been in all night. Hoping to crack the top 5 by the end of this one.
As we see Holloway back on the track, 7 laps down, I'm sure he was thinking, all right, good, they're wrecking, but they're not wrecking serious enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, he will finish this race laps down.
Well,
no chance he can get his lap back.
Yeah, he finished laps down, but what I see right here, I see Jeffrey Meyer. I know he suffered some damage. I'm not sure if it gave him any required repairs or not, but what I'm seeing right now is he's sitting on pit road and doesn't look to have any intentions on going back out there. And of course, Jeffrey is locked into the playoffs with his win at Texas. So, this could be a situation where Holloway could pass him, pick up one more point, and you never know if that might be the difference or not.
Pace car's ducked off. The 29 is down and away. Green flag back out. Just over 10 laps to go. Dakota Wilkins with a nice start to try to get second away.
Oh, Springer up the racetrack.
Way up. This might be 3 wide coming off. And it is 3 wide through the dog leg. Springer really off pace.
Yeah, he loses. Oh gosh, Terrence Sine hard slams into Anna Purcell.
Into the 57, Jordan Berry.
God, something. We got one upside down over there. I'm sorry, not Adam Purcell. Trucks look. All these trucks look very similar on my end, but it's the 57, not the 58. Jordan Berry, but
board with Terrence Sine going down into turn 3. It looks like he just drove it in too deep and ended up collecting the 57.
Well, the after effect, you can definitely tell there's some tempers flaring, because after the fact, well, first off, Sine drove it in way too hard. Almost clipped the back of the 21, which thankfully he didn't, but he ended up pile driving the 57 into the wall. But then after the caution, you see Berry has it straightened out, and he basically drives, well, Sine gets turned around again by the 7 of Eichert, but 57 has it straightened out and drives down there and slams into the 30 again. And that's what ended up turning him over.
You saw in the cockpit camera, Sine started braking past the 1 mark on the wall, so he was way too late on the brake point.
Hey, he almost got Springer. And basically, if the 57 wasn't there, he was going to hit the wall hard himself. Talk about the 30 truck.
The only man this is helping is Dakota Wilkins, because the more they run under pace laps, the less he'll have to worry about losing positions. Gonna be 10 laps to go at the line. We should be going green with 9, maybe 8 laps remaining. And Corey Sherman is now up to 3rd. Pate's lights are still on, so there will be, I believe, an 8-lap shootout minus a green-white checkered possibility. Taking a look at the point standings, Adam Free is ahead of both Daniel Holloway and Richard Springer in terms of how they are on the track right now. Holloway all the way back in 14th. I believe Holloway's definitely going to be out if Dakota Wilkins can finish where he is right now. Otherwise, Free should be all set no matter where he finishes, as long as it's a position in front of Daniel Holloway, because he does have the most laps led and a lap led. So those are bonus points that he'll have an opportunity to take advantage of should something happen to him in these final laps.
Well, this is exactly what Holloway was hoping for. I mean, he probably didn't want to see all this, and stuff that looks to be intentional out there, but he needed some carnage, and he got some with the 30 and the 57, and if the 30 and 57 don't get their trucks back out on the track in another, right now they're 2 laps down, Holloway is 6, so plus he's the only truck not on the lead lap at this point on the racetrack, so he could possibly get a lucky dog. But if he's able to pass the 30 and the 57 while they're still sitting on pit road getting repairs, then that could be, Man, that'd be crazy again.
Pace car is off. The 29 leads him back to the green. And let's not forget about Jerry Rogers. He's currently in the 5th position. If he can win, he'll be in. Corey Sherman with an awesome restart. He's going to take second away from the 44.
Now this is because Dakota Wilkins cannot have this happen. He's got to stay. He has to finish second at the worst, I think, to advance. And even that might not be enough if the 29 passes these trucks that are sitting on pit road damaged.
Sherman now in second. He's got his eyes set on the 29. This will be his first career Dynasty Racing League Truck Series win if he can pass the 29. He's been chasing him all night long. Will he have something for him in these final 7 laps?
This could be extremely difficult. I'm sure Ferrari's going to make that truck very wide. Plus, I mean, he's doing tons of strength all night long, especially since we got a little 8-lap run to the checkers here. Although Sherman's closing in on the back bumper, but you see, loses the speed on exit. And now the 44 might have a run on him. Now this is the battle we're going to be paying attention to. Right now, Wilkins.
Drag race off of 4. Looks like Sherman will have the advantage. I don't think he'll be able to close the door. I'm mistaken. He will be able to close the door on the 44, but if Wilkins...
Oh! Sherman up the racetrack.
If Wilkins can cut the dog leg enough, he should be able to have the advantage in 3 on the 6 of Sherman. And this is exactly what Adam Ferry wants to see. These guys battling. Let him pull away.
Here comes Springer. See if Springer makes it 3 wide.
It's 5 laps to go.
So what I was about to say before we got all this battling going on, Holloway has indeed passed the 30 truck and the 57 truck that have too much damage to continue, and right now he is scored in 12th. That means right now, as it stands, Wilkins is 1 point behind him. And even so, it might not, even if he does pass the 6 truck, it still might not be enough, because we talked about that tiebreaker situation.
We have Jerry Rogers making a pass on the 21 of Richard Springer. That is for the 4th position. Springer hanging on tough, though. He's got that momentum on the high side.
And Rogers, he completes that pass, but I believe his championship hopes are sort of, I don't think it'll be enough.
Not unless a caution happens in this final corner, because we're about to come to the white flag.
Yep, so as it stands right now,
and
the
Ferrari
drivers
will take the white flag. We will finish under green.
Yep, and he looks, I mean, he looks as though he's kind of home free. But what a statement he has made tonight.
We're going to stay focused on the 44, though. It's all about him. Will he make it into the Championship 4 at Homestead? The 9 dives it in there. Not going to be enough. Dakota Wilkins going to have to hope for a bobble from Corey Sherman. They come off of turn 4. It looks like Wilkins will finish 3rd.
And Ferrari gets the win. Sherman 2nd, Wilkins 3rd, and I believe Wilkins, if my math is correct, of course, sometimes it's a little bit off, but I believe Wilkins is going to be 1 point out.
And here comes Holloway crossing the line in 12th. I
believe by the skin of his teeth, again, he's going to make this Final 4 barely.
Position-wise, Wilkins finished 3rd, Dakota finished 12th. That's a 9 points difference. I don't know if either one led a lap.
I'm pretty sure the 29 led every single lap tonight.
And looking at it, Wilkins was 9 points behind Ferrari. He was what would be 10 points behind Daniel Holloway. So I think he's going to just miss it by a point.
Yeah, because of that whole tiebreaker deal we were talking about previously. But man, what an incredible performance tonight by Adam Ferrari in the 29 truck. And after his close call at Martinsville with the tough situation when a caution came out and he pitted and a lot of people didn't, it'd be easier to forget that night because he has made his way into the Final Four with this victory. Adam Free, you got a copy, sir?
Copy.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's a terrific performance on a night where you had to have one. Start on pole, I believe, led every single lap, and came away with a victory tonight. And you're automatically in for the Final Four at Homestead. I guess that makes Martinsville not feel as bad, don't you think?
Yeah, I've had some unfortunate luck, the last couple months, some untimely cautions. So, I'll tell you that I felt real good. That shows you what qualifying on the pole can do. It makes the race a lot easier.
Well, I know you were obviously focused out front trying to win this race, but at any point tonight, were you concerned about the guys behind you as of who else might get in and who might be left out? Because there was a lot of stuff going on behind you.
I wasn't too worried about the points. I figured they'd sort themselves out. There's no reason to worry about that. Corey Sherman, though, I mean, he was all over me in the short runs. I was trying to save tires, but, credit to him. He did a good job of pushing it, but not pushing it into my rear bumper.
Yeah, definitely a great battle, at least the first few laps after those restarts, but you definitely showed enough strength to be able to pull away from them. But now that you're in Homestead, definitely in there, what do you think about that track, and how confident are you to come away with a championship next week?
Well, I just ran my first race ever there tonight.
How'd it go?
I would have won if there wasn't a late race caution. So, I don't know. We'll see. Mile and a halves are tough. I know Meyer's real fast at mile and a halves. We'll see. I'm going to do a lot of practicing this week and see what I can do next Wednesday.
Well, I know you weren't in this league last year, but as we saw in last year's championship fight, anything can happen, and a driver who didn't win a race all season long ended up winning the championship. So it's definitely up for grabs.
Yeah, it takes more than just speed. You need some luck and good decision making.
Well, you certainly had the speed tonight. I believe led every single lap. I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but regardless, who do you got to thank for tonight?
Thank you guys for all the work you do running the league. You and all the admins. Teammate Terrence Sine, he ran a lot of practice laps with me this week, and he was up front most of the night until I guess he forgot to hit the brakes at turn 3, one lap. But
yeah,
he's been getting a lot better, and I think that's helped both of us.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate situation then, and until all hell broke loose behind him. But regardless, terrific performance tonight. JP, you got anything for Adam?
Congrats on the win, Adam. That was a dominating performance, and this is definitely going to help build momentum going into next week. I know you just said you only ran one race. Definitely get your practice in. Maya's going to be one tough cat to beat, that's for sure. But I wish you luck next week, and going to be rooting for you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Just to show I'm not biased, I'm going to tell everyone I'm rooting for them.
Well, I mean, I'm excited for whoever wins it. I mean, definitely whoever wins this championship next week will have earned it, and it'll be really exciting to see who can come up with it. But let's pull in our runner-up finisher tonight, Corey Sherman, in the number 6 truck. You got a copy, Corey? It's the broadcast booth.
Yep, I got you guys.
Well, once again, so close to that first victory. Start on the outside pole and finish second. What more did you need to overcome and finish ahead of Adam?
I don't think I had anything for him. I could get to his bumper, and I just couldn't complete the pass on him. So that last restart, I overdrove 1 and 2 laps in a row, so he got away from me, so I knew I didn't have enough to catch back up to him.
Yeah, Adam talked about how strong you were on the short runs, but it did appear that as he took the few laps away, then he seemed to be a little bit stronger. But if he wasn't in the playoff situation, would you maybe have raced him a little differently, or would it have mattered?
No, I would have raced him the same. I would have raced him clean. I mean, if it came down to the last lap and I knew he was in, I might have, if I was on his bumper, gave him a little bump in the 3 and 4 for that first win. But
Yeah, well, glad to see you survive all the chaos tonight and come away with a runner-up finish. And I know you're not part of the playoffs, but what are your thoughts about Homestead Miami Speedway?
I did a bunch of official races the past couple days, and I've been doing pretty good at them. So hopefully, I got something for these guys next week.
Well, we saw last year, we saw the winner of the race. They were not a part of the Final Four, so you got that going for you, and maybe it could happen again. Got anything for James? James, you got anything for Corey before we let him go celebrate his second place finish?
Yeah, Corey, fantastic race. You've been getting better and better each and every week, and I'm sure you're going to get your first win sooner than later. I think next week you got a great shot at it, but I definitely hope to see you in 2020, and I have no doubt in my mind you'll be able to get that win next season if you don't do it next week.
Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully, it comes next week.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to it, man. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, so this next man we're about to interview, he might be a little bit try to see what he has to say, because definitely a lot of craziness going around, and we're still it's not confirmed yet, but we believe he might not have made it in. But regardless, Dakota Wilkins, you got a copy?
Yeah.
Well, the good news is you salvaged a solid third place finish tonight. Congrats on that, but we're still a little bit uncertain. We believe, we'll confirm this once the points are updated on the website, of course, but I believe you might be just 1 or 2 points out of the Final Four.
Yeah, if my math's correct, I think I'm 1 point out as well. So, I mean, normally I'm happy with third place finish, but tonight wasn't enough, and I don't know. Go into Homestead and see if I could play spoiler.
Yeah, well, we saw. So what were your emotions when you heard about the 26 wrecking?
I hate for it to happen. I don't want to try to get into the next round where by people wrecking, but I heard him. They got wrecked and then got involved in another wreck, and I'm like keeping an eye on him the entire time, seeing where he is running standing wise, and knew that with a couple of guys already out of the race, I had to give me an idea where I had to finish. And honestly, once I saw his teammate Meyer on pit road, and I knew Meyer probably wasn't going to come back out and make it one less, give Holloway one more spot, which I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not, but that's part of having teammates and stuff like that. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it would have been very marginal, but would have been even closer, though, if didn't have that wreck between the 30 and the 57, because Holloway, he was able to pass those trucks for those positions, so they might have been even closer then. But certainly understand the disappointment. Certainly it doesn't take away from a strong season that you had. You say you want to go in Homestead and play spoiler. What are your thoughts about that place?
I ran there good last year, finished second, and was really close to getting a win. So it's going to be sucking 2 years in a row going there. And if I run like I did, knowing that I could have, if I would have just made it to the Final Four, I could have been a champion. But just go there, have fun, and cap off a season that honestly exceeded my expectations. To have as many top fives as I had compared to last year, where I only had 3. It's night and day difference.
Yeah, we certainly do understand the frustration. If it is any consolation, I guess it was better than last year, because after Talladega got left out, so you at least made it around further. But man, I was so close to getting in there. But JP, you got anything for Dakota?
Yeah, to go to a tough break, and still is unofficial. I do believe it is 1 point you're out by, but fantastic season no matter what. You can't hang your head on that, and just got to go to Homestead and play spoiler and hopefully get that win to end your season on top.
Yeah, hopefully I can, like I said, get there and play spoiler and win and finish the season off good and I don't know, make some people proud. I feel like I kind of let them down not making it, but it is what it is.
It doesn't. You still had a great season at this point, man. Keep your head up and appreciate the time. And we'll see you next week.
Yep, see you guys.
I definitely can tell the kind of similar to Jeff Gordon in 2014 when he got bumped out by 1 point after that famous Ryan Newman pass on Kyle Larson. Kind of almost the similar situation. But what we are going to do a little. What we don't usually do, since we are going to speak to all Final Four participants here. Richard Springer came home in 5th place. Richard Springer, you got a copy, buddy?
Yes, I got you.
Well, you survived all the shenanigans out there, put it politely. Came away with a top 5 finish, a clean night for yourself, and you are into the Final Four at Homestead. How's it feel?
That feels good. That was the goal. I didn't think I'd run as well as I did, but it was too bad for Wilkins there. 3 guys quit at the end there, and that allowed Holloway to get in. But Holloway deserved to get in. I mean, he was fast all year, so it's tough to leave anybody out. Wilkins is good too, and some other guys are fast, but it's got to be just 4 guys, and that's the way it worked out.
Yeah, the way we were tabulating the points here, it would have been close if the 30 and 57 didn't wreck on that last caution.
The 30 was right behind. He almost wiped me. I went hot. I saw him coming, and man, I said, if he wipes me out, there's going to be problems.
Yeah, you were about an inch away from getting swept up in that. But
he just blasted it down in there, and as you described it.
Yeah, fortunately, you were able to survive it. Truck, I mean, other than the guys at the very front, clean truck, top 5. I mean, can't ask for anything better. You basically you did what you needed to do to advance.
That's right. I got up there to second, and we were going good, and I think we had like 88. I think there was a caution, and that kind of threw things out of whack. I had about 3 restarts on the outside. Wilkins let me in on one of them, which was nice, but then we had another caution right away. So the cautions really hurt me. I was much better letting the thing go, things heating up, and I was able to get these guys, especially in turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, we know how good you are at Homestead. You made the Final Four in the Grand National Series last year and came home, I believe, 3rd in the points, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I was going to go for. I mean, I could have finished 2nd, but that wasn't any good. So I pushed it too hard and hit the wall and finished 3rd. Yeah.
Right. So, we know you love to run that high side anywhere, but especially at Homestead.
Well, I hope it's there. I don't know. There might be a little bit of high here and there, but I don't know. It's a little bit off the corners, yeah. But in the middle of the corner, it doesn't seem like it has much grip. You have to be real careful if you run up there. You can't run right at the wall or slide it.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be able to do like what Tyler Reddick was able to do last year and literally run a centimeter off the wall.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, but we definitely know that. I mean, James and I have talked about it. Like, if we know that if you did make the Final Four, that you were going to have a real good chance for you to come away with the championship. And I also said to JP a minute ago that whoever does come away with the title, it'll definitely be well earned.
Yes, sir. Yeah, there's plenty of talent up here, plenty of skill up here in these guys. So it'll be a lot of work, and could be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun, and hopefully everybody will enjoy it.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I know we'll enjoy it regardless, but we definitely anticipate an exciting race next week. Who do you got to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, the usual suspects. James puts on the league and does all the work behind the scenes. A bunch of other guys, of course, the broadcast team, including you, Taylor. And the drivers were showing up every week. We didn't have as many as we usually have tonight, but still 17 compared to some of the other series was pretty good. So yeah, we had a lot of pretty good participation this year, and hopefully we'll have a lot of guys at the last race as well.
Yeah, that's definitely what we're hoping for. Well, congrats again on your top 5 run and making the Final Four. And we'll see you. Well, I'll see you probably in the next day or so. But the league, the rest of these truck guys, will see you next Wednesday.
All right, I appreciate the kind thoughts, and we will talk to you later.
Yep, sounds good. Have a good night. And our last Final Four, last driver to make the Final Four, probably definitely the most unconventional, and didn't really, I don't think anybody at all, especially me, didn't expect this the way he did make it in. But you got a copy, Daniel Holloway?
I sure do.
Me and James are still kind of at a loss for words about what took place. First, how your truck ended up getting wrecked, but the rest of the stuff that happened afterwards. And by our calculations, by 1 point, of course, this is unconfirmed, of course, and wait till the points are updated on the website, but we do believe that you were able to squeak in to Homestead next week for the Final Four.
I do believe so. I think I was 10 points ahead of him, and I think he had to be, second, and I needed luck on my side towards the end there, and I think I got it there. That was just a terrible netcode between me and Jeff. That was just
It was
no words
just,
describe that one.
just a weird situation all around because, I mean, the netcode happened, but we didn't see it because Meyer had blinked out. So just a very bizarre set of circumstances there.
And between teammates, no less.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's as far as that netcode, and I looked back on it, and it's like the only one time that he
That's
did
right.
blink, but on my screen it never showed him blink out and stuff. But when I watched it, I mean, he was almost gonna start getting underneath me, and then he blanked out, and then he didn't show back up, and then I was spinning, and then
Yeah.
next thing you know it, I saw Jeff flying in the air. So I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know you probably couldn't believe what you were seeing, and neither could we. Trust me. So I mean, it was. I will say that what saved you was the fact that we know you got a meatball and lost 6 laps, but well, actually 7 because you did get away for lucky dog. But
I had a couple of lucky dogs. That's what helped me out too. But I still had like 4 minutes of optional.
right, just try to nurse it.
I was just nursing it, and with luck as far as that. But I was just trying to stay clean tonight and just run it. And I know Richard and Adam, and Jeff was of course locked in, but Adam and Richard, those all 3 of us were only a point or tied, and I was pretty much just racing Dakota as far as position wise, because that was the main threat for losing it, and
it was
pretty darn close.
Yep. If we will say this, if it wasn't for the 30 and the 57 getting involved in their wreck, then it might be a different story.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for that net code, it probably would have been a different story.
That's right. Yeah, wouldn't have had to deal with that in the first place. Although you did have another situation early in the race with the 99 truck.
Yeah, we were just. I know he was trying to get by me. We're just racing. I felt like either he got tight or pushed, and I was holding my line, and spun me. Wasn't a whole lot, damage worth as far as that, and then I think my teammate hit me again there. But we still came out good, and then I was just looking at the laps, counting it down, and just keep an eye on the Dakota. He pushed hard. He did what he can do as far as that. He done a great job all season. It came down to, towards the end here, it could only top 4. We got good drivers in here. It could be anybody this year as far as being in the top 4.
Well, Daniel, the good news is, and Mr. Mai, if you are here, I did pull you into the channel.
Yep.
Well, the good news is you guys have a 50% chance of bringing home the championship.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's a good thing.
Yep.
yeah, that's right. But
Look at what were our chances tonight of us touching each other twice.
one in about 100 billion. But yeah. But certainly glad to see you advance, Daniel. And we know how close you came last year with before the whole deal with Jeremy Hebel took place. What's it going to take to get it done?
Well, these top 4 drivers, it's going to be tough and hard to beat. So it's anybody. Um, you know, everybody needs to come out, race hard. It could be a sleeper out there that could win it. That's a uh, non playoff guy. Anything can happen, just like last year.
Don't make bad decisions.
Yep.
That's
That'll
right.
help.
And I was going to throw it to you, Meyer, but a lot of people, view you as the odds-on favorite to win it. I don't know if you feel that way or not.
I wouldn't say I'm a favorite. I haven't run a lot at Homestead, so we'll see. I got to get some practice in this week, and just because it's a mile and a half doesn't mean I'm gonna kill it. So
Right, but that was going to lead to my next question. Do you feel like, well, for both of you, really, like, do you feel like being the odds-on favorite adds a little more pressure?
not really. I just got to go out there and do what I've been doing all season. Just be patient and let it come to me. Don't make mistakes, and we'll end up where we end up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anything can happen.
Oh, go ahead, Daniel.
Oh, I was gonna say same with Jeff. I mean, all 4 of us that's in the top 4, still got the same equal chance of winning it. So it's just a matter of least amount of mistakes and who's finished best.
Yeah, I
Comes down
think.
to it. Get down to the end of the race, then it's time to race hard.
Yep, I think you guys hit the nail right on the head because as far as limiting mistakes, because we saw even last year, Robbie Armstrong, who did win the championship, actually spun on entering pit road under green and had to kind of rely on some attrition ahead of him to help propel him towards that championship. So yeah, I think you guys hit it right on as far as the word I like to use is precision.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
I think definitely who shows the most precision next week and doesn't make the mistakes. That's going to be who's going to be winning the championship, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Alrighty, guys. Well, I'd like to wrap up this broadcast. We've been going on for quite a while. Starting with you, Jeffrey. Do you have anyone you would like to thank before we let you go?
Oh yeah, thank my teammate. We've been working good all season, and best of luck to
Except for
both
tonight.
of us next season.
And you're saying
Yeah,
thanks,
exactly.
thanks for not one of the,
Well,
thanks for not tearing him a new one, I guess, right?
yeah, but best of luck to both of us next week. The best man win, and thanks to DRL for putting on the league, and you guys for doing the broadcast. It's gonna be a fun race next week.
Absolutely.
Oh, it sure will.
And to you, Daniel, anyone you would like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just shout out to DRL, you guys in the broadcast, teammate Steve, and of course Jeff. We've been hitting it hard all season. Great season. We accomplished a lot. A lot of top 5s, a lot of wins from someone I won't mention, but you know,
Oh, you can
everybody
mention me.
watch. All the fans, friends watching out there, enjoying all these races this year. So, just want to say thanks to everyone.
Well, one last thing I will say. We saw a Bad Boys truck go to victory lane at Homestead last year, although he wasn't a Final Four participant in Matt Kleinschmidt. So
Yep,
I guess
right.
try to make it 2 for 2.
Well, hopefully
We'll try.
we tonight.
Alrighty,
All right,
guys.
guys.
Well, best of luck to you both next week. We look forward to seeing what you guys can do on the track, and have a great night.
Thanks,
Take care,
guys.
guys.
All right, that's going to do it for our coverage tonight. Real quick, before we do go off the air, let's run down the final results after a wild, exciting night here at Phoenix.
Not a whole lot to discuss. Adam Farid leading every single lap tonight. He had a heck of a truck, started on the pole, and he never looked back. Corey Sherman finishing second, Dakota Wilkins third, Jarrett Rogers fourth, Richard Springer rounding out the top five. Austin Collins sixth, Adam Breeding seventh, another fantastic top 10 for him. Adam Purcell eighth, nice top 10 for him. Cody Barber ninth, nice to see him up there as well. And Dustin Eichert rounds out the top 10.
And coming home in 11th tonight will be Matt Vanderkoy in the 72, the last truck on the lead lap. Daniel Holloway 6 laps down, squeaks into the final 4 and is with a 12th place finish. Terrence Ane in 13th, Jordan Berry in 14th after a late race wreck they got involved in. Jeffrey Meyer, not the way he wanted to go down, but he secured his place in the final 4 last week with his win at Texas. Winds up in 15th. David Lindahl 16th and Cody Gatsky in 17th. And Marvin Wingfield did not take the green flag tonight. He will end up in 18th.
Taking a look at the point standings. Now you see the final 4 drivers, Jeffrey Meyer, Richard Springer, Daniel Holloway, and Adam Farid winning tonight, locked himself in. Those 4 drivers will be competing for the championship next week at Homestead. The next race for the series will be the Dynasty Racing League Championship race at Homestead. 100 laps on the 1.5 mile track. That is Wednesday, November 20th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The next broadcast on DRL TV will be the Dynasty Racing League Cup Series Championship race at Homestead. That is 133 laps, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on November 18th. Thank you to everybody that makes Dynasty Racing League possible. James Pandolf, owner, financial and marketing. Martin Wenzel, Jordan Gonzalez for graphics and technical. Thank you to all the broadcasters, David Warburn Jr., Taylor Bridge Benjamin, Martin Wenzel, Getty Buckner, James Pandolf. Thank you to Ryan Branch, who did the Cup Series earlier this year. And thank you to all the special guests we've had. Thank you to everybody at Race Controls, Martin Wenzel, Getty Buckner, James Pandolf, Robbie Armstrong, Dakota Wilkins, Ryan Hescott, Jeremy Hebel, Richard Springer, Eric Weatherholtz, and thank you to David Wright and you, Taylor, for stepping in tonight for the truck race. Thank you to all the admins, James Pandolf, Getty Buckner, Martin Wenzel, Ryan Branch, David Woburn Jr. Well, Taylor, a heck of a race and an exciting finish. 1 point separation determines the 4th driver to make it in for the championship race at Homestead. Couldn't get much closer than that, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing stuff tonight. Not only it went on with who's going to get in and who's going to get left out, but Adam Farid. I mean, that man deserves a big time pat on the back. Knowing how close he was at Martinsville and not securing a spot back then, but just an impressive performance, starting on the pole, leading every lap, and winning the race. And definitely, you'd have to believe, carry some momentum with him into Homestead next week. Yeah, but this definitely, any one of these 4 men who did make the Final 4 definitely is capable of winning the championship.
Absolutely. It's going to be a race to watch, and you guys aren't going to miss it. That's going to do it for us here on DRL TV. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the Dynasty Racing League Truck Series Phoenix 181. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next week to find out who the 2019 champions will be of Dynasty Racing League. Have a great night.